What's going on, everybody? This is Mike with FilmFacet, and welcome to our very first live stream. So this is it. Been wanting to do a live stream for a while, and here we are. So I've got some Disney things to cover today. We'll look at some other things. I got some trailers to show. We're going to check out the box office over the weekend and see who was the winner and who's the loser. Loser. Okay. Speaking of losing, great segue to get into Disney, because they've been losing lately. So we have this. We have Disney Plus sheds 4 million subscribers in second straight quarterly drop. Quarter 4 of 2022 was the first subscription drop, and I believe that was 2 million. So we have another 4 on top of that. So in the last 2 quarters, they have lost 6 million subscribers. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I'll read a little. Disney Plus shed another 4 million subscribers in the first 3 months of 2023, marking the streamer's second consecutive quarterly drop after closing 22 with its first ever decline. On the bright side, the Mouse House also managed to narrow a streaming business loss by $400 million, down 26% year over year. On Wednesday, Iger and company beat Wall Street estimates for Disney's quarterly earnings and revenue due to impressive January through March showings at the company's theme parks. Well, you know, that studio has something that some of the other studios don't have. They have theme parks. Yes, I know Universal has a theme park. Several. But that's it. There's no Paramount theme park now, is there? Anyway, so they have other revenue streams that they can kind of go towards. That's why you see a lot of woke ideology being forced by them, because they can take the brunt financially of people who stop supporting them. But apparently, that seems to be changing as well, because you see all this stuff, and they've kind of changed their messaging a little here in the past month or two. It's not as woke, because the people that are boycotting them because of their politics, shall I say, it's starting to affect their bottom line. I mean, it took a couple years, but here we are. It's starting to affect their bottom line, and there's a lot of losing going on over at Disney right now. So we got that, and then let's go ahead and talk about this. The Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger on Disney Plus, we realized that we made a lot of content that is not necessarily driving subscription growth. Yes, I would say, as a matter of fact, it's doing the opposite. The Walt Disney Company's CEO, Bob Iger, confirmed much of the content the company created for Disney Plus was not driving sub growth for the streaming platform. In fact, he admitted some of the programming they created did not drive subscription growth at all. Like I said, it's having the opposite effect. During the Walt Disney Company's quarter 2 earnings webcast, Iger stated, "As we grow the business in terms of global footprint, we realize that we made a lot of content that is not necessarily driving subscription growth, and we're getting much more surgical about what it is we make." So as we look to reduce content spend, we're looking to reduce it in a way that should not have any impact on all of the subs. We believe there is an opportunity for us to focus more on real sub drivers. In other words, things that are actually geared towards children. Okay? Oh my god. Gross. And more Disney news. Jonathan Major's attorney blames Marvel star's domestic violence charges on the racial bias that permeates the criminal justice system. It has nothing to do with the fact that he beat the shit out of his girlfriend. So, there's not a whole lot to say about this. His attorney just said it's because of his race. That is why he's, has these problems. It's not his behavior at all, even though that's really the problem. So we have that, and then we go to this. This is Leslie Headland confirms the upcoming Star Wars series. I don't know how you pronounce that. Anyway, look into what's going on for all of us right now. Leslie Headland recently confirmed that the upcoming Star Wars series on Disney Plus will be a commentary on current American society, culture, and politics. Because that's what, Star Wars has always been about. What's going on in this country politically. In an interview with Empire Magazine that was shared to the Star Wars Leaks subreddit, Headland discussed the series, saying, "When we're doing something completely original, like we are, it's not original. It's a franchise that's been around since 1977. You want to question the status quo of the era you live in, do we? Do we really?" She continued, "What I think is so interesting right now is that everybody thinks they're right. The Jedi really think they're right. And Lucas tells us that they're wrong in Phantom Menace. They missed a huge aspect of the dark side rising. That just felt like fertile ground to look into what's going on for all of us right now." When you say all, what do you mean? Not only did Headland confirm the show will be a commentary on current American society, culture, and politics, but she seemed to imply the focus of the show being on female villains. When I was a young queer girl, I'm talking about what she said, not me. I've never been a young queer girl. I was just hanging out with Ursula, the sea witch from The Little Mermaid. She told the outlet, "As a queer girl growing up, if you don't identify with the heroes and the villains show up and they're all queer-coded, you're like, yes, that's me," Headland added. "As a queer filmmaker, you're going to see some camp. But I would say that tonally, our references are darker." I don't know what that means. Anyway, it sounds like it's woke Star Wars, basically, is what it comes down to. Okay, we're gonna keep going on with Disney. We've got a couple more here, guys. We got a couple more. Um, Marvel Shang-Chi star Simu Liu confirms Hollywood chooses to reshape stories to get more representation on screen. Reshape stories. So you're reshaping a story so you can get your political ideology crap in there when it shouldn't be in there to begin with. See, I've written screenplays, guys. I've written them, and I've studied them. I've took classes, and nowhere was I ever told that you should put stuff in there for some society commentary about anything that's going on in the world today. As a matter of fact, I was told not to put anything in the script that doesn't move the plot and the story forward. And none of these pandering messages that they throw into these scripts now have any business being in them in the first place. They don't belong. Okay? They don't belong. It's ingenuous. Okay? It's obvious pandering, which I can't stand. Okay? When these corporations get on their social media accounts and start championing some minority group, they don't care about that minority group. They don't want to be canceled by you. That's it. It's the bottom line. That's where they're going. That's where they care. So, when this dude, who by the way is somewhat of a racist, if you've ever heard any of his interviews, he begins and ends with race. That's all this guy's about. So, when this guy says this, I'm like, well, yeah. And this is new. I mean, this is not my first week on the planet. So, let me read some of this hogwash for you. Okay. Though shockingly obvious to any audience member over the age of 10, Shang-Chi star Simu Liu is the latest Hollywood insider to confirm that Hollywood has in fact taken to rewriting scripts in order to make them diverse. The man who self-agonizingly believes himself to have broken barriers for Asian actors thanks to his portrayal of an archetype kung fu hero, affirmed Hollywood's growing difference to identity politics in response to an April 11th op-ed published by the Huffington Post. The article was entitled, "We Love Simu Liu, but He's Not the Only Talented Asian Thirst Trap in Hollywood." So the guest contributor, Ian Kumamoto, took issue with the belief that not only was the Marvel star getting the bulk of Asian male roles in Hollywood, but in doing so, it made his appearance as an Asian actor feel a little less like representation and a lot more like tokenism. This comes from an Asian. Okay? All we're saying is we don't want a predominantly white Hollywood to gatekeep sexy Asian male representation like it had for decades when there were so many other attractive and talented Asian men who deserved to be seen and appreciated by the general public, argued the aggravated author. Lau's portrayal of the superhero Shang-Chi proved that he was absolutely Marvel material. But while Marvel Studios often crafts American sweethearts out of ethnic actors and quickly transforms them into highly visible stars, this shouldn't be the only way to ascend in the industry as a person of color. Give us some options. I agree. So anyway, this guy is kind of a race baiter, as far as I'm concerned. I liked him when he came out on the scene, but after a number of interviews I've seen with him, I'm no longer a fan. And I love Asian actors, man. I'm into all the martial arts films and all that stuff. Have been ever since I was a kid. But this guy can go fuck himself. Okay. In the we never needed a sequel to this movie department comes a Freaky Friday sequel with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan expected to return. We don't need to see it. We don't need to see it. At all. I'm not going to read it because I don't care. It was a stupid remake to begin with. It's not going to be any good. It's going to be quite awful. But I guess Jamie Lee has been championing a sequel to this movie for a number of years now. So
now I got to ask you what everyone's asking you about. When do you start this Freaky Friday movie?
There is no scheduled date, but we're talking. People are talking. The right people are talking.
Is it wild? Did you ever think that would happen?
Sure.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because I'm 64 years old in a week and Lindsay's 36. That's why. It lends itself so beautifully.
Does it? Look, I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I do. Big Halloween fan here. I guess you can't fault these older actors going back to the things that were successful for them. Look at those Halloween movies. Did we need another trilogy? No, we sure didn't. But we got them. Didn't need them. Don't need this movie either. Try something new. Try something original for a change. So, because I'm not going to spend any time on this anymore. So, that's all the Disney I had, which was a lot. It was mostly woke shit, which I can't stand. So, we have to highlight that stuff whenever we see it, right? We got to highlight that stuff. So, I've done that. I've done my job. So, next we go to Richard Dreyfuss. Oscar winner Richard Dreyfuss denounces Hollywood's woke diversity agenda. They make me vomit. Look, I'm not going to say a whole lot. What he has said in this interview, I have already said a number of times on this channel. So I don't really need to rehash anything. I'm just going to play the video. And, I'll have a couple things to say after, but he does all the talking. Just listen to what he says. He's 100% correct. It's more pandering by the Hollywood left. Trying to... I don't know what they're trying to do. I really don't know. With all this woke messaging, I don't know what they're trying to do. I just know that it has no business being where it's at. go stick your woke ideology shit someplace else, because people are getting fed up with it being in their entertainment. Okay?
Films will be required to meet new inclusion standards to be eligible for the Academy Awards for Best Picture. They'll have to have a certain percentage of actors or crew from underrepresented racial and ethnic groups. What do you think of these new inclusion standards for films?
They make me vomit.
Why?
Because this is an art form. It's also a form of commerce, and it makes money, but it's an art. And no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is. And what are we risking? Are we really risking hurting people's feelings? You can't legislate that. And you have to let life be life. And I'm sorry, I don't think that there's a minority or a majority in the country that has to be catered to like that. Yeah. You know, Laurence Olivier was the last white actor to play Othello. And he did it in 1965. And he did it in blackface. And he played a black man brilliantly. Am I being told that I will never have a chance to play a black man? Is someone else being told that if they're not Jewish, they shouldn't play The Merchant of Venice? Mm-hmm. Are we crazy? Do we not know that art is art? This is so patronizing. It's so thoughtless and treating people like children.
Do you think there's a difference between the question of representation and who is allowed to represent other groups? For example, as you said, somebody representing the Merchant of Venice. And the case of blackface explicitly in this country, given the history of slavery and the sensitivities around black racism. Do you think there's a difference between those?
There shouldn't be.
Why?
Because it's patronizing. Because it says that we're so fragile that we can't have our feelings hurt. We have to anticipate having our feelings hurt, our children's feelings. We don't know how to stand up and bop the bully in the face.
Do you think, as we tell stories about our past, that there is a fuller version of our history that is perhaps more inclusive to the diversity of the country now, or?
You know, I once worked for a guy who was making a film about the gangsters of the 30s. And I said, why did you change this incident and that incident from the reality? Because the reality was so much more interesting than what you created. And by changing it, you made it simple and smaller. And I totally believe that you can make a great film or a great painting or a great opera out of the truth first. And try that first. And then if you can't do it, then make up some nonsense. But don't tell me you can't do that history isn't that interesting.
Final question. In 2020, you said, quote, I don't go to a lot of movies anymore because I don't like them. They're not very good anymore. And I probably have missed out on a bunch of really good films, but they're mostly crap. Why do you think modern films are mostly crap?
because we're going through this strange need to not create, but to create sequels. Sequels are death. Sequels are like, or there was a sequel to Jaws, but there wasn't. No sequel. No, never, never came close to the brilliance of the first Jaws. And I'm very proud of that.
Yeah,
and
well,
very happy about it.
I thank you for my phobia of sharks for my entire life.
Me too. I admit it. I won't go in. I'm the same way. But I tell you, it's one thing to be around a generation of people who went for it, who risked it, who said, let's go for it. And they did. And they made great films.
So,
Colorist.
oh my God.
L'Oréal Paris.
Okay, we don't need to hear that or even see it. Okay, so he pretty much said everything that I've said on this channel the past year. That, yeah, they're just patronizing you guys. Quit being on board with this stuff because they don't mean it. And everything he said was right on the money. And I've seen him getting vilified for this interview. I've seen him called, oh, he's old, he doesn't know any, oh, he's this, oh, he's that, he didn't, oh, this guy never made any good movies. What do you, don't listen to him. No. Just, one of the greatest films ever made, he was in. Pardon me, I got a message here. Okay. So, this is going to be a conversation we're going to keep having until Hollywood pulls their head out of their ass and stops with the woke messaging. And speaking of which, Netflix, one of the wokest streaming services in the world, has pissed off a lot of people here lately with their Black Cleopatra docudrama called Queen Cleopatra. They say that she's black, and she never was. But, we make things up now. We make things up, and we try to make younger people think, oh, this is how it, oh. And they're so wokeified that they believe anything. They're so gullible. So, I've already talked about this before. Colorblind casting was a video I did about 6 weeks ago. Go find it, because I talk a lot more about it in depth, and I'm not going to get into. Basically, the only thing I wanted to say about this was there's some Egyptians that are suing Netflix right now because of this docudrama. And not only that, but there's an Egyptian broadcaster that's going to make their own Cleopatra docuseries the right way. When I say right way, I mean truthfully. A government-owned Egyptian broadcaster has responded to controversy over the casting of a black actress to play Cleopatra in the Netflix docudrama series African Queens, which streams from May 10th by announcing production of its own big-budget Cleopatra doc. the fact that Britain's Adele James, who is of mixed heritage, plays the first century Egyptian ruler as a queen with African roots in the Netflix original produced by Jada Pinkett Smith has been sparked an uproar in Egypt. Ever since the trailer dropped last month, local academics and others are claiming that Cleopatra, who was born in the Egyptian city of Alexandria in 69 BC and belonged to a Greek-speaking dynasty, was of European descent and not black. That is correct. The Netflix series is full of shit. So I'm glad they're coming up with another documentary. I mean, there's plenty of documentaries about Cleopatra that have been made through the years. Go find them. Avoid this one, because this is nothing but bullshit. That's it. I don't know what else to say other than that. It's nothing but bullshit. So, we've talked about Disney. We've talked about the Oscars and their woke rules they have now. Okay? We've talked about the Black Cleopatra series that is just fiction. So all that kind of stuff is kind of somewhat negative. I don't like to be negative. I don't like to make these woke videos. Or these videos about these woke things. I don't like it. But I feel like it's something I need to do. Because this is happening on the daily now. There is a lot of things being said that are just not true. I mean, look at the mainstream media. They lie constantly. And yes, I'm throwing Fox in there. I know there's some people who probably think I'm a conservative. I'm not. I'm an independent. Always have been. Always will be. But I err on the side of common sense, and that's why I have such a problem with the left now. Because there are no common sense over there. Just a bunch of fucking idiots. It's really sad that I find things that I agree with from the right. Because, I've always been an opponent to Trumpism. I have always not supported Donald Trump and his wacky bullshit. Okay? So, if I had to align myself with a Republican, it would have to be a moderate. Okay? Because that's basically what I am. I'm a moderate independent. And I lead my life with common sense. And if you have no common sense, I have no use for you. So, all that crap is over with, okay? We're going to do some fun things now. Like, I would like to show you some trailers that have come out in the past couple weeks. Maybe you've seen them. I don't know. But, we're going to head on over to YouTube. Actually, we're going to go over here. We're going to go back to here. Okay. Sorry. I got an itch. We're going to check out the new indie trailer. Dun, dun, dun. If I can find the new indie trailer. All right. Loading it up, boys. So I'm just going to mute my mic, and so we can watch this together.
I'm retiring.
Well, in that case, what are we drinking?
Same for the goddaughter.
Dad told me you found something on a train during the war. A dial that could change the course of history.
Why are you chasing the thing that drove your father crazy? Don't move.
We need to get out of here.
Stop!
Sorry.
Helena! Dr. Jones, get him. Hitler made mistakes, and with this, I will correct them all. You stole it. Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
This way!
Fasten your seatbelt. There might be some turbulence.
You've taken your chances, made your mistakes. And now, a final triumph.
Give him hell, Indiana Jones! A few times in my life, I've seen things. I've been tortured with voodoo. Been shot 9 times, including once by your father. Sorry! But I've been looking for this all my life.
It looks good. I mean, it's just a preview, so I can't really tell for sure. I did notice the little woke capitalism line in it. Doesn't really bother me too much, other than let's keep the current messaging of today out of a movie that takes place in the 60s, please. I mean, can we do that? But no, I think it looks fine. It looks pretty good. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. So I have a list. Now this one, the Meg 2, I have not seen anything on it. I've seen the first Meg movie. I saw it in the theater. But I haven't seen anything from this one. So this will be my first look at it.
Jonas, we need your help. We're detecting increased aquatic activity 25,000 feet deep in the trench. It's an ancient ecosystem untouched by man. Whatever is down there is trying to make its way to the surface.
This is a bad idea.
Just a little bit.
Jonas, we've got company.
That's the biggest Meg I've ever seen.
Biggest Meg anyone's ever seen.
That's the apex predator.
Everybody make it to the station! You can make it! Keep going!
3 massive megs and who knows what else have escaped the breach.
I just hope it goes better than last time.
What happened last time? You don't want to know. Go! We've never seen this before. They hunted it back.
We can relax. This place, Meg-proof. I mean, Jonas was always afraid of this, but I was also thinking...
Well, that looks fun. No, it looked fun. I liked the first movie. I actually have that book. I have not read it, but I do have that book. Gonna have to check that out. Slides. So I've got some others I need to look up here. Hang with me there, guys. We will find some of them. Okay. Okay, here's queuing this up for you. So here we go. Dun, 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 dun. The next one is Dune 2. Oops, I forgot something.
It's breathtaking. When you see sand here, imagine water. If you dive in, you can't reach the bottom.
You dive in.
Yes, it's called swimming.
I don't believe you.
In the shadows of Arrakis lie many secrets. But the darkest of them all may remain. The end of House Atreides.
Your father didn't believe in revenge.
What if Paul Atreides were still alive?
Have you ever had a dream about your first ride?
Don't try to impress anyone. You're brave, we all know that. Be simple. Be direct. Nothing fancy.
I understand. Nothing fancy.
You will never lose me, Paul Atreides.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope!
May thy knife chip and shatter.
Looks amazing. One of the best filmmakers out there right now is Villanueva. Don't you even consider anybody else. This guy just brings it every time, man. He just brings it. He hasn't made a stinker yet, I don't think. Okay, so we go from a really, which looks really great, piece of filmmaking to Fast 10.
These days, you're facing tough choices. Do you solve for today?
Oh,
or
look, a
build for
commercial.
tomorrow?
Nope, we don't listen to them. We sure don't. Not here. So we're going to check out the Fast 10 trailer.
Punch it!
You know, we'd already be there if Roman wasn't driving Ford Knox on wheels.
You see me shining, baby? Well, lock this side. That's a trap. That's a bomb. All right, dorks, what are we blowing up? What? The Vatican?
Alright, so I kind of fucked that up. Let's start over.
Punch it!
You know, we'd already be there if Roman wasn't driving Ford Knox on wheels.
You see me shining, baby? Well, lock this side. That's a trap. That's a bomb. All right, dorks, what are we blowing up? What? The Vatican? Wow, you guys are going to hell.
Get out of there!
The great Dom Toretto. If you never would have gotten behind that wheel, I'd never be the man I am today. And now, I am the man who's going to break your family. Piece by piece.
The devil's coming.
Boom. Tommy, I knew you would come for me. So how about we all just start shooting each other? Time to end this.
Let's dig some graves.
You are not to be trusted.
Hey, you ain't on my Christmas list either.
Cavalry's here.
Cheers. We need weapons and cars.
Cannon cars. Do you like surprises? I adore them.
I'd stay down if I was you.
You'll need to hit me harder for that.
The game's over, Dom. You lose. This is your last ride. Then you might want to buckle up.
Well, it looks like a fast movie, doesn't it? I mean, they're fine for, like, just mindless entertainment. I mean, they're completely ridiculous at this point. But what else does Vin Diesel got? Riddick? Oh, yeah, he's making another one of those, too. See, this is what these guys do. They cut their teeth on these franchises, and then they walked away from them and then tried to do other things and realized you can only do those franchises. So here comes Vin back to making all these fast movies. Like, he blew them off in the second and third movie. He was like, I'm not interested. Then he made The Pacifier, and it was terrible. And then he found out that he really can't act. And he can only really do just one shtick, and this is it. So that's why he's making them. I don't blame him. I mean, they still make money. I mean, as long as they make money, why not? So, that is my opinion on that. So I got one more trailer to show you. Let me cue it up for you. It came out a couple weeks ago. I think it looks really good. I think you'll agree with me that it looks really good. So let's get into Blue Beetle.
Excuse me, Mr. Reyes? You finished scraping the gum off that lounger or what?
Everything right now feels so out of reach.
You always land on your feet, bro. You're Jaime.
They don't get out much. I just want to rap. Jenny?
God, that's no life. But do not open it. You went in to get us jobs, and all you brought back was a hamburger?
Okay, I don't think it's a burger.
You haven't looked?
What the hell is that?
How did you get it to do that?
I think he likes me.
It's on your face! Get it off! Get it off! Jaime.
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. What the?
Host acquired.
Who said that? Okay, it's gonna be okay. Space.
Re-entry systems ready.
Wait, no. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. What is going on? I just want to rock.
It's called the Scarab. It's some kind of world-destroying weapon. It's designed to protect its host.
This ain't what you want.
Sometimes it does what you want, and sometimes it doesn't.
I think I cut a bus in half.
The Scarab chose you, but it belongs to me.
That love you feel for your family makes you weak.
I just want to rock. Don't kill my dog, standing my money, don't know my side.
The universe has sent you a gift, and you have to figure out what you're gonna do with it.
That's my heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Whatever you can imagine, I can create.
Let's party.
Yeah!
Nice choice.
I just want to rock.
Whoa, it's like Batman stuff.
Batman's a fascist.
I just want to rock.
Batman's a fascist. We all know that. Yeah, Warner Brothers can't help themselves to throw a little woke in there. So I think it looks really good. I like the kid from Cobra Kai. I like him. So we'll see. It comes out in August, and it looks pretty good. And, you know, hang on. Go over here. Check some things out here. So, I did have this to say. Hang on. I've got to download it. It's just a picture. So, let's take a look at this. I'll read what it says. Zack Snyder says audiences just don't understand his DC movies. We gave them this sort of hardcore, deconstructivist, heavily layered, experimental, modern, mythological superhero movie that you really need to pay attention to. That was not cool for them. I believe that's a quote by Zach. No, Zach, it's not that the audience didn't understand your DC movies. It's that you don't understand your DC movies. And more, you don't understand those DC comics. Like, not even a little bit. Like, maybe Batman, okay, maybe, sorta. There's some things there that need to be removed. But Superman, you don't fucking know Superman at all. You tried to reinvent the character to make him like this dark, brooding, just basically another Batman. Well, he's not that, and he's never been that. And hopefully James Gunn, his new Superman film, will put that right again. So bottom line is, Zack Snyder is a hack and a moron. Well, this is the end of the stream. I mean, I could find other things to talk about, but why bother? It's a Sunday. Happy Mother's Day if you're a mama. Until next time.